And thank you CNI, thank you TG Packcon for this event, and thank you all for attending. It's brilliant to see so many people in the room and reflecting a conversation we had in the room earlier. It's great to see so many women in the room as well. Previous events on packaging have been a bit male-dominated, so it's lovely to see so many women in the room. And maybe next year we'll see some on the stage, which would be even fantastic. But thank you all for...
They'll be joining in the next...
Excellent. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. We've heard a lot already about why sustainable packaging is important. So the good news is this will be one of the briefest keynote speeches you've ever heard, because lots have been covered already. As mentioned, it is at a critical period. It's important for society, but at the same time, we also can't ignore the environmental impacts of packaging. So we need to work really hard together to advance sustainable packaging. And this is something we are doing in the UK, based on both incentives, a little bit of push, but also driving consumer demand for more sustainable packaging. Because we certainly believe that once the incentives are there, and once the demand is there, we'll see more investment into the infrastructure that is required for more sustainable packaging. The UK government, we're taking a number of approaches to a world with more sustainable packaging, and I'd like to share a couple of those with you. One of those, and I expect many of you in the room won't like this, is a plastic packaging tax. No one likes the government taxing anyone. Businesses don't really like to be taxed, but certainly in the UK, in 2022, we introduced a tax for packaging companies and businesses, which levied a fee for any packaging that had less than 30% of recyclable content. We've also produced something called an extended product responsibility scheme, and I'm sure you all are aware of this.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where companies, businesses are responsible for keeping and publishing data on the packaging they used, and next year it is likely that we will start rolling out some fees for the management of this waste as well. As I said, we are also focusing on consumer demand. We want to drive more consumer demand, more consumer awareness about sustainable packaging. And one of the commitments our new government has made is that in 2027, we will roll out a deposit return scheme, making sure that if you buy a can of pop, if you buy a bottle of beer, there'll be a fee on that can, on that bottle, and you will be encouraged to return that can or bottle. We hope that the scheme will together collect 85% of all products that can be recycled again. That's our ambition. And as I said, this all very much reflects incentives, a little bit of push, but also trying to drive the consumer for more consumer demand as well. We're also taking steps to restrict some of the most harmful packaging, but at the same time, as we've already heard from colleagues on the stage, we're also investing a lot in innovation in sustainable packaging. That is both through funding of research, but also with more partnerships between the government and industry and universities to help tackle this vital issue of how do we make packaging more sustainable. And this is very much, as I said right at the beginning, is focused on how do we ensure there's more investment into sustainable packaging infrastructure. Because we realise as a government, sometimes businesses need a hand in that area as well. And why it's important for the collective good. It will benefit us all It will benefit us all in the UK. In the UK, we like to share our technology, so it will benefit everyone around the world, including in India. And this is why it's vital that we all come together. We all recognise the problem. We all know there needs to be a solution to the problem. And with most problems that we see around the world at the moment, it's the collective good around the world which will help tackle this issue. I'm very pleased that the UK is at the forefront of focusing on sustainable packaging and putting in initiatives to encourage more sustainable packaging. But overall, our ambition is to be working with countries around the world, including India, on how we can ensure that sustainable packaging becomes a reality, and that we are all doing our best to ensure there is less environmental damage by packaging. Because as we all know, we're probably safe from the world at the moment, but I think there are generations to come that are going to be very, very worried about climate change, and we have to implement action now to ensure that future generations will have a bright and green and healthy world to live in. But thank you again, CII and TG Packcon, for inviting me today, and lovely to see you all in the audience, and I look forward to talking to you all. Thank you.